Welcome to the Depth Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get right to the core of things. And today we're jumping into a world that, looks incredibly cool, almost rebellious on the surface, but it holds some surprising truths just underneath. We are talking about bobber motorcycle culture. You picture a bobber, right? Sleek, stripped down machine, open highway, pure freedom.
That's the image, absolutely.
Well, we've been digging into some really interesting material, especially this one piece called The Dark Side of Bobber Culture Nobody Talks About.
Yeah.
And wow, it really does pull back the curtain on those, perfect glam shots you see everywhere online. Mm-hmm. So our mission, our goal with this deep dive, it's not just a summary. We want to give you a shortcut, really, to understanding what this lifestyle actually demands. Beyond the shiny pictures, get ready, because what if the very things that draw you in are also the biggest hurdles? It's fascinating, isn't it? How powerful an image can be, especially with something like custom motorcycles. They're so iconic. And this material, it really does challenge that popular idea that it's, all freedom, tattoos, cool photos.
Right.
In a world saturated with curated images, it's just so important to see the whole picture, not just the highlights reel. So yeah, we're going to connect the dots between the dream and the often pretty demanding reality.
Okay, let's unpack that, because the sources we looked at really hammer home the big misunderstanding. What would you say is the biggest gap between what people think bobber culture is and what it's actually like when you're in it?
Well, the core takeaway seems to be this really stark contrast. Lots of people get drawn in by the image, the look, the vibe. But the actual day-to-day, according to folks who've lived it, it can be surprisingly lonely, really expensive, and even dangerous.
Mm-hmm. The material's pretty clear. Plenty of people try it out because it looks cool, but only a few really stick around when reality bites. It's way less about fleeting coolness and much more about serious commitment. A grind, really, that you just don't see from the outside.
That's pretty sobering. And dangerous, that word definitely jumps out. You to see any bike has risks, sure. But our sources mention specific dangers with bobbers, things that aren't immediately obvious. What are those?
Yeah, and that gets into a really critical point about the design choices, the philosophy behind bobbers. They are, by definition, stripped down. That means taking stuff off. Things that might add comfort or, crucially, safety features.
Okay.
Like to think about a hardtail frame. No rear suspension. So every single bump, every pothole, that shock goes right up your spine. The source material literally says long rides can wreck your back.
Yeah.
And that's not hyperbole. It's a direct result of choosing that low, rigid look over comfort.
Makes sense.
And beyond just comfort, you've got real safety issues. A lot of custom builds are all about the look, right? Extreme angles, maybe weird handlebars. But if the build prioritizes looks instead of rideability, you end up with a bike that might look amazing parked.
Right.
But it's less stable, harder to handle, maybe unpredictable. We saw anecdotes saying one mistake can throw you off. I've seen it happen too many times. So it's not just general risk, it's the specific tension.
Yeah.
Chasing aesthetics can directly compromise how safe the bike actually is to ride. Every ride is a bit more of a gamble.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for, all of us living online these days. The source asks directly, do you think social media makes this worse? That perfect Instagram shot, is it actually causing problems?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, platforms like Instagram, YouTube, they're highlight reels.
Yeah.
Right? By their very nature, you see the glam shots, perfect bikes, perfect light, perfect roads, riders looking impossibly cool. What they don't show, what gets actively hidden, are the breakdowns miles from anywhere, the hours bent over an engine, the endless searching for parts. Or, honestly, the fact that some of those beautiful custom builds are just fundamentally unsafe to ride properly.
Yeah.
It's just a classic case of being sold on the dream, not the reality. And if you zoom out, it reflects that bigger trend, doesn't it? Digital curation setting unrealistic expectations for everything. You see your own messy garage, your greasy hands, your aching back, and compare it to someone's filtered perfection. It can be really disheartening. It creates this almost impossible standard, pushes newcomers to focus on the image, not the substance, and that can lead to trouble.
Let's talk money, because that's often the quiet dream killer, isn't it? The source uses a pretty strong word for the financial side of this, suggests it's way more demanding than people think. How bad does it really get?
Brutal. That's the word used. And yeah, it seems fitting. It's so much more than just buying the bike or even the initial custom work. People think, the few thousand will get them rolling. But the truth, a legit custom bobber can drain your savings and it doesn't stop.
Right. It's ongoing.
It's constant repairs, mods, upgrades. And these aren't little things. Often specialty parts, custom work, skilled labor costs. These are modified machines. Modifications often mean new problems or just need way more specialized upkeep. And unless you can really wrench on it yourself, and I mean properly wrench, not just basic stuff.
Yeah, beyond an oil change.
Exactly. Then you're constantly paying someone else.
Yeah.
And the source says it never ends. It's this huge ongoing financial black hole that people just don't see when they're looking at the cool pictures.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just the bike and the money. What about the people? The community? You'd hope, maybe, that a shared niche passion would mean instant support, camaraderie. But is there a darker side to the culture itself that the research brings up?
Yeah, that's a really key insight. And you see it in lots of subcultures, honestly. While the sources do say there are genuine supportive riders, absolutely.
Sure.
There's also apparently quite a lot of gatekeeping. It's not just about liking bikes. It's about having the right bike, built the right way. Very strict, often unwritten rules. If your bobber isn't seen as authentic enough, maybe it uses the wrong parts, or you didn't literally build it yourself, you can get judged. Pushed to the margins. Harsh, ego and pressure one deep is how one source put it. And that creates this environment where people might feel they have to push themselves beyond their limits just to prove they belong. Maybe try dangerous mods they can't handle, spend money they don't have, ride recklessly, and that's when it gets ugly. It's a real reminder that even in groups supposedly about freedom, social pressure, needing to fit in, that can get really intense. Kind of toxic, actually.
So putting this all together, the risks, the costs, the social minefield, the online illusions, what does it all mean for you listening right now, maybe dreaming about getting into bobbers? What's the real talk advice from people who've actually lived this life for years?
The advice that comes through is actually really simple, very grounding. It boils down to be real with yourself. Really look at why you want to do this. The core message is don't do it for likes. Don't do it to impress anyone.
Right. Check your motives.
Exactly. If it's about external validation, the Instagram feed, getting nods from a certain group, you're probably heading for disappointment and a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Instead, do it because you love the ride. Simple as that. A genuine internal thing. Passion for the machine, the mechanics, the road, the feeling. The sources really advise, start small, ride often, don't jump into some crazy, expensive, extreme build right away. Learn, build skills, understand the bike, figure out what you actually enjoy, except that this lifestyle isn't glamorous, it's raw, it's tough, demanding. But the wisdom seems to be, if you're in it for the right reasons, it's worth it. It's really a call for authenticity, find the joy in the thing itself, not the image.
There it is. The raw, unfiltered truth about bobber culture, straight from those who know. Clearly, it's not just leather jackets and Instagram posts. There's serious money, sweat, actual physical pain, sometimes real heartbreak behind that minimalist look. It asks for a lot more than just casual interest.
Yeah, and what's really compelling is how deep that passion can run, isn't it? Driving people through all those challenges. This whole deep dive, it's just a great reminder, I think, to always look past the surface of any appealing image. A bike, a job, a lifestyle choice, whatever. Understanding the full picture, including the potential darker side, lets you make choices that are actually authentic for you. That advice from the community, ride safe, ride real. It really applies much more broadly, doesn't it? It's about living authentically, not chasing someone else's curated highlight reel.
So thinking about that, after hearing all this, what other passions or cultures out there do you think might have a similar kind of unvarnished truth hiding beneath a really glossy public image? Something to chew on as you navigate the often very carefully presented world around us?